Trisha, we got a couple more people dial in, so let's give it 30 more seconds.
Sure. Mhm.
All right, let's get it going.
Mhm.
Whenever you're ready.
Yeah. So far, we have several attendees represented
Yeah,
here, and it's actually a mix of people in the call from Florida, Virginia, I think is represented.
yeah, it's all over the map.
Yeah.
Well, let's get started. We want to we want to respect your time. We'll keep this probably to about 15 minutes. What I want to do is for any agents on the call, you can use the chat button if you have any questions. We keep this really loose, free flowing. If you have any risks you want to ask us about, we're happy to show you that. We pretty much have a market now. We're up to about 149 companies across specialty, commercial, and personal. So it really depends on the agency. We work with agencies that only do commercial lines and they need personal lines markets. We have heavy personal lines agencies that use us as an extension of their office for commercial lines. We also write specialty lines, everything from churches to tattoo parlors, you name it. So I think we've kind of built the last 6 or 7 years this hub or placement facility for you guys. There's other wholesalers out there, we get that, but instead of sending accord forms and waiting weeks or never hearing back from 10 underwriters, we've kind of put everything in one place, and so to help streamline the process, because today's age, it's only going to get worse as far as you got to be efficient, and speed is probably the number one driver with that. So we provide the market capacity as well as we bring more efficiency, I think, to your office. So, Patricia, let's do a quick, if nobody has any questions, you can ping in chat while we talk, or you could just hold your questions to the very end. And if you want us to touch anything like, hey, I want more information on personal or commercial, use the chat button for that, because we got somebody monitoring that as well. So Patricia, I think that's a good segue. If nobody has any questions, let's do a quick spin around the track. Show them Insure Hive. And this is Insure, but while Patricia brings it up on the screen, she's going to do a quick screen share. You guys can follow along right on your computer if you just go to insurehive.com. What I did was, instead of placing it where you have to remember another username or password, and I'm sure most agencies, some people's passwords are probably a sticky note on your monitor, and it's usually password or 1234. So I said, okay, let's just make this open source, so you don't have to remember any password to get into it. It's just open to the world. So right there on the home screen where it says, what can the Hive bind for you? It's right there. Search any risks today, no login required. So Patricia has it on her screen. Again, if you want to pull this up on your own computer in your office, just go to insurehive.com and it's right there. As well as, Patricia, show them on the bottom footer where they can get access to this marketplace as well. Down at the bottom, you scroll all the way down.
Mm-hmm.
Keep going. Yeah, we put it right there, Brian's list.
Mm-hmm. I've also put up the URL in the chat box.
Oh, perfect.
InsureHive.com.
So pull that up.
Now. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, pull that up. So this is what we've kind of built out. It's simple and clean. Here you can go and you can look up what companies we have. You can request an appointment with any of the companies by commercial or personal. And my whole goal is to help optimize your existing markets. So we just got a quick question in the chat to say, Brian, I already have Travelers in Hartford. can I use you guys to access Nationwide and USLI and Safeco for personal lines? Absolutely. So what we do is, if you're a new agent, part of our onboarding is we'll send you this, what we call our market access survey, and you can kind of go through it and say, okay, do I want fries with this, or I only want the hamburger? So you can kind of build your little menu and tell us what companies you think you need. When it becomes to E&S, you don't need appointments at all with us. Just submit them. There's no contracts or credentials that you need to get. You get a sub appointment with us is another question somebody had. It's not a direct contract, it's a sub appointment. Your name would be on the declarations page, but we do have to get you credentialized with that carrier because you go in, it's direct access, which means you'll have access to quote and bind from the comfort of your office, right in the carrier's portal. We know, I call it portal business. 100% of personal lines is usually all portal business. Commercial lines, we know 30% of it's portal business. The other 20% is still Accord forms or if it's E&S stuff. And to be honest with you, the last 30 days here at Insure Hive, I've literally seen a 10x on E&S business. I don't know if everyone experiencing that as well, but the last 24 months, carriers, large commercial companies have been getting off profitable risks to, unfortunately, whether your book's profitable, they're still non-renewing a lot of what I call used to be mainstream bread and butter business that's now floating in the E&S space. So you don't need, we probably have every E&S company out there, but you don't need a contract to send us E&S business or credentials. I just wanted to point that out. So this is a list of all the companies in Michigan for commercial, I believe. So you can go through here and pick out what companies you want, and we will get you credentials so you can quote and bind right in their portals. On the personal line side, Patricia, let's take a spin on the personal lines. We can do everything from monoline umbrella, monoline jewelry to package auto and home. Depends on the state. But we have a couple of new companies. If you need another, most agents right now need another preferred auto and home carrier. So we have a nice selection of that as well. So how do you bind something? Go back to commercial lines, it depends. It depends on what type of account it is. So I'll give you an example of, let's go to the state of Michigan, and we'll pick on, I'm going to pick an account that's just every day you see it's bread and butter business. Patricia, go back to commercial lines up at the top, not by carrier.
Okay.
What happens is when you call either a wholesaler or you're looking up a market, you want to know three things, right? Hey, I got a lesser's risk. It's in Detroit, Michigan. Do you have a market for it? Okay, great. If you do, how do I submit a business and get paid? That's pretty much the three questions most every agent wants to know. Do you have a market for this? If you do, what company? And how do I submit business to you? That's it. And this will give you those quickly, those answers. So let's say you got I don't know, Patricia, pick on a food services category. We have them all by categories, from churches to contractors. They're all in and then I have subcategories within each one. But let's say food services bagel shop. That's pretty much mainstream stuff. We're going to select, you got a bagel shops? Yes, we do. You write these, okay, what companies? And we have 5 companies there. And then you can filter on what state you're in. And with Insure Hive, one of the benefits is we also, if you have multiple states, I don't know if some of the agents are doing business in multiple states now, especially because the world's changed and you're probably working from home most of the time. So that kind of puts that must-have local office, and your clientele has kind of opened up your sphere. Your universe has opened up to more people. So a lot of agencies now are getting licensed in neighboring states that they do business in. And since we're in 35 states, you also would have the rights to be able to market in other states if you have quote flow or lead flow coming from there. Great. So then we have a bagel shop. We have about 6 companies that write them. And then you would just click on one. Let's pick on Cottery right there. You would click on the Cottery. You can learn a little bit about them. That's what I call a company page. And then you might say, well, I want to see my appetite guides. You know, what's their rating? That's all here. If you scroll down, we put the underwriting guides all right on Brian's list. So you no longer have to, most agents' office, there's always, used to be a bookshelf. I've been doing this a long time, but it used to be a bookshelf, and you'd have these big 3-ring binders of carriers' appetite guides. Here's my auto owner's book. Here's this. No one ever read them. It would be more like the conversation in the real world is, hey, who does auto owners do bagel shops? So yeah, Susie knows how to do it, but she's at lunch right now. Okay. This eliminates all that back and forth. The appetite guides are right here in a nice slick PDF, so you know what they write. Not only what they write or what they say they write, but actually what they're writing. And so it's all in real time that we keep this up. We refresh this Brian's list. I probably do it every Monday morning as we keep up. It's a big job, if you can imagine, keeping up with all the listings of the carriers, but that's what we do full time. We have a whole team that updates this. So you're looking at fresh data all the time is another time saver for your agency. Great. Now somebody asked, how do I get a quote? Great. So go, Patricia, show them if they hit that green submit button. That submit a quote button will launch Cottery is a carrier portal that you can do it yourself. And so you're already going to have your credentials with us. And that's Patricia's job, is to make sure you're set up beforehand. So you're ready to go with any company that you need. Now, what if it's a piece of business that's not a bread and butter? It's outside the underwriting box that needs to manually get underwritten. So let's give an example on that, Patricia. Let's go up to commercial lines, and like if you have a fleet of business monoline commercial auto, we do a lot of that, and that's through our Accord apps. But let's pick on yeah, you can do commercial auto. Scroll down and let's submit. Go to the first one, home state. So we got about 8 companies. Some of those were like Nationwide, you'll see. They do a lot of commercial auto, but you need supporting policy. So I just did one this morning for an agent. It was a large 8 cars with Nationwide, and they just added a small general liability to it. It was like $500 just to get the commercial auto business. So you kind of play those games, but they do require support, some companies. But in this case, if it's a monoline commercial auto or a church, when you hit that green button, I just wanted to show you what happens. Because there is no carrier portal for specialty business. So what do we do there? Hopefully within Zoom. I didn't think it would open in Zoom. I think they kind of blocked that, Patricia. But what happens is it opens up your email client, and then you can upload the Accord apps to us right from there. Matter of fact, it'll go pre-fill with my email, and then I'll personally be your concierge and make sure the quote gets done that day, and then we email it back to you. That's on specialty risks, E&S business, and business that's not inside a carrier portal, if that makes sense. The way I always think about it is, if it's your Main Street stuff that Travelers in Hartford, though they write, that's going to be carrier portal business. But you don't have to memorize all this. What company does that? It'll all be here for you. When you click on that submit a quote button, 2 things are going to happen. It's either going to open up the carrier portal and just say, great, here's my credentials, or it'll open up your email client and you can just upload the Accord apps. So you'll know when you hit submit a quote. To get appointed, if you're already appointed with Insure Hive, you can just email me anytime, or Patricia, and say, hey, I saw you have this company, I'm trying to get a quote, and we'll get you contracted with that company. If you're not appointed with us yet, there is a little bit of paperwork you got to do. One agent just asked, what I need to send. It's typical stuff. E&O insurance. We do everything direct deposit on the 15th of the month. So we get your routing number and account number. So that form, and then your agency license, those three things. And it's very simple. It's an independent producer agreement. And there is no fees, by the way. It's just, how do we make our money? It's a pure volume game for us. So the carriers pay us as, let's say, a master agency. They'll pay us or pay Insure Hive based on the group production. And so let's say it's nationwide. Right now on office bops with them, since our volume is high and they want office bops, they're paying us 23% commission. In a typical contract with Nationwide, it might be 15. On a direct contract, we're up about 23%. We turn around, we'll pay you 80 of that, so you'll get 20 and we keep 3. If it's a company like Hiscox that pays us 20, we'll pay you 80%, so you get 16% and we make 4. So basically it's a split on whatever we receive. But a lot of times what we've been seeing, and that was my whole premise of the whole company, is what if we can kind of collateralize this, and now we have leverage with the carriers that you might not have as a smaller agency. Because I've been in on those meetings when we were a smaller agency, and they don't care. Here's your contract, this is what I'm paying. But if you can make more money with us and get higher commissions, that's a happy day. In addition to getting the contract as well. So if anybody has any questions, I know we're almost out of time now. That's kind of like the quick demo of Brian's List. Again, you don't need any credentials. Patricia, show them again how to get into it, because someone just joined in late. They want to know how to get access to Brian's List. Janet, we'll show you real quick how to do it. Just go back to the homepage, Patricia, on Insure Hive, and we'll show you how to get into it, Janet. So here you're on the homepage.
Yep, it's here, insurehive.com, the URL. And to see the different carriers, just scroll down to the bottom and click on Brian's List, where it opens up to the commercial and personal lines carrier options available to you. And like what Brian mentioned, if you need credentials for a particular carrier that you need, you can check out how the carrier works. If it does quotes via their own portal, we'll be happy to set up credentials for you. You just need to let us know which carrier that you need access to. So it'll filter out to the specific state from where you're at. Let's say Florida, Massachusetts, Michigan, and Virginia. So they're all here. So you'll be able to easily check out which carriers are growing in your specific location. Just narrow it down and you'll be able to see the underwriting guides here. They're in PDF form. They're all clickable and very interactive. So it's basically an interactive cheat sheet. That's what we like to call Brian's List as well. Very helpful for agents. You don't need to memorize anything and or print like the 3-ring binder book that Brian is talking about. Saves a lot of space and saves the trees as well.
Yeah, and if you use the agency management system, we're in talks with the top 3 to integrate this into your agency management system as well. That might be coming down as a future iteration. But Patricia, let's open it up to see if there's any more questions. I know I answered a couple while I was talking, but We got about a couple minutes left before we wrap it up. So if anybody has any questions, you can put in the chat. Or if you feel comfortable, Patricia, I'm sorry, there's a fruit fly here. We could unmic the call, and maybe a lot of people don't feel comfortable asking it in a big group setting, but if you do, we can unmic it for a couple minutes, and I'll stick around before we hop off.
Yeah, sure. I've uh, allowed access to the microphone. So on your end, ladies and gentlemen, you can just unmic yourself and just let us know if you have any questions or clarifications that you wanted to put out there, or if you're more comfortable, you can just put it up in the chat box or send us an email. That works too.
Yeah, we just got our first one in from our friend Roxy. She said, "This is great. Thanks so much." You're welcome, Roxy. Call me anytime. One thing we do, what you see here, one thing I'm evaluating is we do, if you need capacity for a specialty program, I'm going to put my cell phone in here because we can form new programs as well. We have a couple reinsurers backing us now but you have to have a block of business. So when I was starting, I was like, okay, I want to insure golf courses, but I had no golf courses on the books. But if you have a specialty market, like some of the agencies that partner with us only focus on 2 or 3 specialties. Okay. If you have a block of business, they like to see at least 5 million. We would move that into your own exclusive program. And why would you want to do that? 1, you make more money. 2, you can control the program from the inside out. We've all had different, if you've ever experienced building a book of business and all of a sudden you get an email saying we're no longer writing that and you spent 20 years building it, that's a bad day. So if you own your own program or actually have access to it, that you can kind of control the underwriting from the inside and control your destiny is really what I'm thinking. So if you have any opportunities like that, anything between 5 million, if you already got it, that's the minimum they'd like to see because the first year. I'd love to explore those opportunities as well. We did get a question, Patricia, about the contracts. We'd be happy to send it to you. If any agent wants to see it, I'll send you the person's name, Patricia, you can send it to. Patricia, what you talk to agents every day. What's a common question you get? Anything stand out?
So far, it's the commissions.
Yeah.
And the split between Insure Hive and the agent partner. So that's been a highlight recently. Yeah.
Yeah. So we maintain every year we update and do an addendum and the commissions either going to go up or down, right? If you've been in this business for more than a year, they tend not to go up. But ours have been going up because I think our volume has gotten up. So we have the distribution and that's what the companies want. So we'd be happy to send that. We keep a commission schedule by carrier. And so we can send that out to any agent that wants to review that. But we're not getting rich on one policy. This is a mass market play, so we need the volume. And I think everybody will win. So I want you guys to make money, as much money as possible, and sharing that success. Well, Patricia, we only got 2 more minutes left. We did have a question. Are we writing homeowners monoline? Yes, we are. I can't believe I just said that because 3 years ago it would be a no way. But we have a few markets that have opened up that allowing, if you're part of Insure Hive, you will have access to a monoline homeowners. That's okay. You're not going to get your wrist slapped for writing monoline homeowners like you have in the past. In the past, it's been like no, or you must have auto and home as a package to write it. Or if you write monoline homeowners, the commission's 1%. So with us, I think it's our average commission on homeowners is about 15. So if you need access to that, reach out to us and we can get you credentials with the homeowners companies as well. 80. What's our percent of commercial and personal? In the state of Texas right now, we're doing about 90% of our business is commercial lines. 10% is personal, but it's starting to reverse. We're starting to see an inverse of that because I think personal lines is really hot right now. And now's the time to put it on the books because carriers want that business, which they didn't, as you know, in the last 5 years, it hasn't been profitable. But now they're coming off of COVID and they're still making a ton of money. And so I think they want growth in the personal line side. So that's about it. Patricia, I think we're out of time. I gotta hop off. If anybody wants to chat, I'm always here. I live here, and I'm looking forward to help you guys grow your book of business with us.
Yeah, thanks, Brian. Thanks, everybody.